Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am Debbie Lazoric, the former athletics director and coach and a proud member of the Hall of Fame. On behalf of Marietta College and our Department of Intercollegiate Athletics, it is my pleasure to welcome you to our 42nd annual Hall of Fame banquet. Now, I may be the only one here who can say this, and if somebody can challenge me, please do. I have now attended all 42 Hall of Fame banquets. Oh yes, oh yes. And I can tell you it is without question a special evening, not only for our inductees and award winners, but for all of you in the audience who will hear about the successes and accomplishments of these outstanding teams and individuals. So like any good former coach, I know my role. As you can clearly see in your banquet program, we have a full slate tonight in a room full of anticipation. So without any hesitation, it's time to get started. I had the good fortune to watch John, Bethany, Ryan, Caleb, and Chrissy compete, and know many of the members from the baseball and basketball teams being honored tonight, and I can attest firsthand to their outstanding achievements. So let's meet this evening's special guest, our Hall of Fame class of 2025. We begin with our Hall of Fame team award winners, and I'll just ask them to stand. From the 1974-75 men's basketball team, seated here in front. And the 1975 baseball team. We will now introduce our individual inductees. Our first inductee is John Fink, class of '85 baseball. He is joined tonight by his wife, Kathleen. A warm round of applause for Bethany Blahnik-Brennan, class of 2006 soccer. Bethany is escorted this evening by her teammate, Emily Knowlton. Introducing Caleb Mueller, class of 2013, cross-country, indoor, and outdoor track. Now, Caleb, you will meet a little later because he's in Australia. So he will be joining us via the World Network a little bit later, but nice, Caleb. And our next inductee is Chrissy Knabb, class of 2013, basketball, indoor-outdoor track. Chrissy is accompanied by her mother, Susan Rowe Finley. And welcome Ryan Lopez Jordan, class of 2014, indoor and outdoor track. Ryan is joined tonight by his teammate, Simon Sanders, class of 2015. Ladies and gentlemen, the Hall of Fame class of 2025. At this time, I would like to introduce the president of Marietta College, Dr. Kathleen Doherty.
Let's try that. Things they don't teach you. Good evening. Welcome home to Marietta. We're so glad to have you here to celebrate this evening's awards. I say welcome home very intentionally. As I had the brief chance to meet some of you and connect last evening, it was apparent to me that this really is a home to you. And we hope that it is a home to our current students. I've given welcomes recently to several groups of prospective students. When I meet them, I often talk about my own first impressions of Marietta. When I arrived here as a job candidate, now close to 2 years ago, I was unsure what to expect. I was, of course, nervous, hoping they would like me, but also hoping I might like them. That's always a challenging position to be in. You're looking for fit. Will I belong is the question we all ask ourselves. When I arrived on this campus, I fell a little bit in love. And I say, it felt like home to me. It felt like an easy fit, like a place that I belonged. And when I see alumni return to our campus, it always feels like they are being welcomed home again. And I am grateful that each of you felt that same sense of possible fit when you came to Marietta. Our honorees tonight had particularly successful years here on our campus, at least certainly on the athletic field, and hopefully off as well, although I will say I did not pull their academic records. That's a good thing. But of all the successes that you had in your time here, I hope it's the relationships that you built that have been the most important. I can't help but note the way our alumni talk about our coaches and our faculty. They met mentors, people who helped transform their lives. Coaches are not just about the work on the field. They are helping our students grow into good men and women off the field as well. From their coaches, our students are learning to be disciplined, how to overcome adversity, and how to work hard to achieve their dreams. Athletics, for many of our students, is part and parcel of who they are as people. Athletics is core to their identity. I had the privilege of seeing this fall firsthand just how much excellent athletic teams contribute to the morale and the environment on our campus. Having both a football team and a volleyball team with outstanding records brought a sense of optimism and enthusiasm to our campus that I don't think we could have brought about in any other way. I'm grateful to the work of all of our athletic staff for the way that they contribute to our thriving community. And I'm so happy for all of you that you were proud participants in that effort. This is the first time I've had the pleasure of meeting many of you. I had the honor of taking on the role of president on January 1st, not quite 6 weeks ago. Though I may be new to the role, I am not so new to Marietta College, having served as provost for the past 18 months. I'm sure that many of you are wondering what is coming next and what is in store for the institution. The leadership team and members of the board spent the fall semester in an accelerated institutional planning process. Through that process, we developed a plan for Marietta's future. The board will see the shape we've given to that plan next week when they arrive for their winter meetings. Our goal with this plan is to help Marietta forge a thriving future. Our efforts will center on 4 initiatives: advancing academic excellence and innovation, fostering student engagement and success, cultivating partnerships and community engagement, and securing a strong financial future. Our intention is to fast-track innovation with new academic programming, new initiatives for student success, and a renewed commitment to our future. In the coming weeks, we'll be updating our plan on the college website. I hope you'll track our progress and support us where you can. Because of dedicated alumni like you, our students continue to have an outstanding experience in the classroom and beyond. They are cultivating now the same strong relationships that will ground them for years to come, much like you did in your time here. I'm so glad to be here to celebrate with you this evening, and I'm so glad that you made Marietta home. Thank you.
At this time, I would like to ask Athletics Director Larry Heiser to come to the podium.
Thank you, Debbie, and thank you, Dr. Doherty. And we didn't run over the bylaws for you, but everybody must graduate in order to get into the Hall of Fame, so you didn't have to pull the records. I did pull a couple of those 75 basketball records. So. Before I really get rolling, I just used this opportunity to recognize a few folks, and wanted to say congratulations to our senior award winners who you'll be hearing from or meeting a little bit later tonight. But Addison, Rachel, and Maggie, guys are a joy to be around. You're emblematic of what a student athlete is at Marietta College and what good human beings you guys are. So congratulations on your awards. And the way Weigout and Cleveland Lazoric is always kind of a precursor to the Hall of Fame. No guarantees, though. You got to keep living clean. I really want to single out Mariah. Is Mariah still in here? There she is. So give a round of applause for Mariah Haynes. And like Dr. Doherty, she's met a lot of our alumni for the first time, and the words and kindness that you guys have expressed to me about what she's doing for you, thank you for the hospitality that you're extending and taking care of us all, so thanks, Mariah. Do we have any faculty or staff members who work with our kids on a daily basis sitting out there? If you guys would please stand, faculty and staff. I know we have a few. 4 or 5, good. Have any committee members that sit through the long meetings? Any Hall of Fame committee members out there? Tom's out there, John's out there. There we are. So if you have any problems with the class, send me an email. I get a couple every year, but it's hard to pick a winner all the time. With our current student athletes who are out there working so hard for us, please stand up. Any current student athletes in the room, please stand. Would our head coaches, assistant coaches, athletic training staff please stand and be recognized? Head coaches, assistant coaches. I'm really proud of that group, and I stack our group up against any in the OAC or in the Midwest. We've got a great group there. And current Hall of Famers, if you're already in the Hall of Fame as an individual and you're here tonight, you want to stand up and be recognized, please? So tonight will be another chapter of our great institution. It'll be the 42nd induction. And Dr. Doherty alluded to it earlier, but I'd want to point it out one more time. Congratulations to Coach Newman and the volleyball team for not only going 22-0 in the regular season, but earning the first ever NCAA regional tournament on our campus, held right over there in Fenton Court. Coach Newman was Coach of the Year for the second time in his short career in the OAC, which is a hard thing to do and hard to do twice, and she's already done it twice, so congratulations, Christy. I'll go off the script a little bit, and I'll say, Hadley, you got to take this message over to Indiana, right? But congratulations to our football team. Hadley's husband, Reed, is not with us because he took off with Waddle to go to Valparaiso. I'm really happy for him. I am really happy for him. It just feels like a perfect fit for Andy. And obviously we're selfish here because we want to keep that thing rolling. And but they had a heck of a year at 8-3. We had Mount on the ropes, and you can probably go back and look at that film and find ways that we should have won that game. But we got into a postseason bowl game for the first time. So congratulations to the football guys and for the staff for doing that for us. And the calendar says winter, but you wouldn't know about it by the lacrosse schedule. So Saturday the 15th, men's lacrosse is going to play against Teal. That's long before winter is over. And the women will open up against Geneva on February 19th. So spring seasons are upon us. We'll be rowing on the water. Is there ice on the river? No? We're out there going? Okay. Softball and baseball will get going, and the track team will move from indoors to outdoors. John Kennedy once said that a nation reveals itself by the men and women that it produces, and also by the men and women that it honors and remembers. So I'll give the microphone back over to Debbie and have her reveal, where is Debbie? Have her reveal the essence of Marietta College by the men and women that we're going to honor tonight. Thanks for coming. Let's have a great night.
Thank you, Larry. Tonight, we honor 3 tremendous student athletes from the class of 2024 who may well be future Hall of Famers. Please refer to your program for the descriptions of the Cleveland Lazoric and Way Weigelt Awards and for each of the honorees' accomplishments. I should note, though, that these 3 recipients are pretty special. All 3 recipients achieved All-American honors in their careers. So that's pretty special when we have all 3. To begin, I am honored to present the Cleveland Lazoric Award to 2 outstanding student athletes. Many of you in the audience experienced the record-setting season of the Marietta College volleyball program. As a person who has either coached or watched our volleyball team over the past 44 years, I can attest to the excitement and passion that we witnessed in Ban Johnson Arena, a first in the 50-year history of Marietta College volleyball. As the former coach in the early 80s, I want to thank Christy Newman and all of our players for bringing the success and excitement back to Ban Johnson. So thank you all. That's good. That's good. An integral part of that success was Maggie Fellers. Her ability to play all positions on the court and then dominate at the net in kills and blocks was exciting to see. Her tenacity, leadership, and her ability to will her team to win was evident in every match. Her coach, Christy Newman, best describes Maggie's contribution. Throughout the recruiting process, I knew she was going to be a program-changing athlete from the first time I saw her play at our prospect camp. Yes, she was a great athlete, but that wasn't the only thing that made her special. It was her work ethic when no one was watching and how much she cared for her teammates, her ability to lead by example, and the love and passion she had for our program. It is very rare that you find an athlete that loves the grind, and Maggie loves it. Seeing the athlete that she has become during her time here makes me proud, but seeing the woman she has become during her time at Marietta makes me even prouder. Getting to not only coach Maggie, but to do life with her these last few years has been such a blessing. After graduation, Maggie will be joining the volleyball program as our assistant coach. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 Cleveland Lazoric Award winner, Maggie Fellers. Thank you so much. Our next Cleveland Lazoric Award winner is Rachel Kazmersky. Rachel played all 4 years for current head coach Jen Castle. When I asked Coach Castle for some comments, she had high praise for Rachel's success. And here's what she had to say. Rachel has been a vital member of our softball team and was a major factor in our recent success. Her ability to change the game with one swing of the bat was unlike anyone I have ever coached before. As a team, we could rely on Rachel, and she thrives in high-pressure situations. She's known for her There we go. She's known for her powerful swing and timely hitting, but she is our anchor in the infield at first base. Her softball IQ and command of defense is top tier and rivals anyone else. There is nothing Rachel cannot do on the softball field. She is the definition of a student athlete. She found ways to make sure she is receiving top marks in her classes, never falling behind. Rachel is using her COVID eligibility season to play this spring while taking a full course in our physician assistant program. That is no easy task, but Rachel seems to make it look easy. Rachel will leave a lasting mark in our program, and one day will be sitting in this same place, but we'll be waiting for her induction as a Marietta College Hall of Famer. Rachel is currently enrolled in Marietta College's Physician Assistant Program. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 Cleveland Lazoric Award winner, Rachel Kazmersky. It seems fitting that in a year where we recognize 3 track and field athletes for induction into the Hall of Fame, that this year's Way Weigelt Award goes to an outstanding track and field athlete. As evidenced in the events he competed in, jumps as well as 2 of the most demanding events in all of sport, the heptathlon and decathlon, it is an exceptional athlete who competes in all of these. Not only did he compete, but he excelled. Numerous OAC championships and honors, culminating in earning 2-time All-American status. Addison was a passionate and vocal leader and a student of the sport. He also contributed his skills and passion to our football team, earning 2 letters and Offensive Scout Team Player of the Year, along with volunteering in summer youth track and football programs. Here's what his head coach, Eric Putnam, had to say. Addison Painter has had one of the greatest senior years in the history of Marietta College track and field. Addison made All-American honors in indoor and outdoor men's long jump. He scored over 36 points at the Outdoor OAC Championship, winning 2 events, placing second in 2 to be awarded the Sparky Adams Field Athlete of the Year. Addison was a great leader and was a tireless person in sportsmanship and volunteerism. Addison is attending grad school at Marshall, and he is using his COVID eligibility year to compete for Marshall and is having a great indoor season, and he has already broken Marshall's school record in the long jump. Congratulations, Addison. That's pretty special. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 Way Weigelt Award winner, Addison Painter. I invite you to join Chase Franklin, if he could please come to the podium, a member of our men's lacrosse team and Fellowship of Christian Athletes, for our invocation, followed by dinner, and then our Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
Please bow your heads in prayer, please. Heavenly Father, we gather here today with grateful hearts, celebrating the achievements of those whose dedication, perseverance, and passion have left a lasting impact on the world of Marietta College athletics. We recognize that their journey has been one of sacrifice, discipline, and unwavering commitment, and we honor not only their accomplishments, but also their character and integrity that they have displayed along the way. Lord, we ask you for your presence in this ceremony. Bless those we induct today, as well as their families, teammates, coaches, and all who have supported them along their way. May their stories inspire future generations to pursue excellence, not just in competition, but in sportsmanship, teamwork, and the way they uplift others. As we celebrate their legacy, may we be reminded that true greatness is not only measured in victories, records, or accolades, but in the impact we have around those around us. Let this gathering be a tribute to the power of the dedication, the spirit of competition, and the unity that sport brings to our lives. We thank you for this moment of celebration and pray that all we do here brings honor to you. In your holy name we pray, amen.
They will release each of the tables to the various sides for the buffet, so just wait until somebody designates your table to go up. Enjoy your meal. If everyone could please take their seats, and we will begin the induction ceremony. It is now time to meet our Marietta College class of 2025. Please refer to your program for a detailed description of each inductee's accomplishments. We begin with tonight's team inductees. The 1974-75 men's basketball team, coached by Hall of Famer Phil Roach, was the first team in program history to advance to the NCAA tournament, in addition to capturing the OAC championship. At this time, I would like to introduce Alex Kalatis, a member of that team, who will say a few words on behalf of the team.
Wow. You know, we came in yesterday, and the reception that we had down at the gathering place, you know, all these inductees up here that are coming in individually, but a team induction, it was just amazing to watch all of us coming together, baseball team and the basketball team, and share all those memories. And I think that's the most important thing that I wanted to talk about. 5 years ago, we were here for winter weekend, and I managed to get, I've been working on these guys for the last 20 years, trying to get them all to come back. We had 8 here, I think, 5 years ago. And I kind of threw the gauntlet down and said, now in 5 years, you know, we got our 50th. No excuses. We've all got to come back for our 50th. Not knowing that, and again, thank you to the Hall of Fame committee for honoring us here tonight and with this great honor. When we found that out a couple of months ago, then the text messages started flying, and I started checking everybody off, and I called Coach Roach, and I said, we're all in. So it's pretty special to have us all here together. And it's the first time all of us have been together in 50 years. So we feel really blessed about that we all have our health and we are here. And, you know, we're blessed to have been able to attend Marietta College. Obviously, we all have been blessed by our parents who encouraged us, you know, to chase our dreams and do what it was we wanted to accomplish. blessed with the coaching staff that we had. Coach talked about it today at lunch, where he was looking back on 50 years roughly on how he remembers recruiting each of us, and we all came here. So the 74-75 year was an amazing year, but I want to just take a moment and go back and kind of give you how we got there. So my freshman year, we had 9 freshmen it was Coach's second year. We had 9 freshmen on the varsity, 3 upperclassmen. And we got hammered. We were 6-16 or something. I don't know. We were terrible. And but one of the players on that team, only 2 of us graduated. Chuck Robinson and I ended up graduating 4 years later, but unbeknownst at that time, in that freshman class, we had a Hall of Famer. So the next year, the next class that came in, I think 5 of those gentlemen are here tonight. That was a great recruiting class. And we were a little better, 10 and 13, I think. But in that class, we had another Hall of Famer, Art Clark. We didn't know it at the time. So if you kind of see where I'm headed, then the next year, we had another good class come in. 3 of those gentlemen are here tonight. And in that class, we had another Hall of Famer, Jeff Faloba. And I was reading, I brought a bunch of material last night, and I was reading one of our media guides, and I shared this with Coach. I'd never seen it before. It was a 73, 74 media guide. And in there it had Coach quoted, and I showed it to him last night, and he said, "This is our last rebuilding year going into the 73, 74 season." So he must have felt something or known something. So it's in the program. We started off our senior year. We were excited. We felt like we could win the championship. We won our first 7 games and riding kind of high, and then we stubbed our toe and lost the first 2 conference. So we went into the conference 0-2. And that was kind of a roller coaster ride, because then the doubt comes in, and I thought, wow, I thought we really had something special. And then we ran off 11 straight. 5 of those games were 3 points or less. 2 were overtime. 1 was a 1-point win. And then that kind of catapulted us through to the OAC championship. I was given something at our senior banquet that I brought with me and shared with the team. And, in this world of possessions and shiny things and bling and material things, I would rate this scrapbook that was given to me by Linda Roach at our spring banquet as one of the greatest possessions that I have. It's every game, every article from the Marietta Times for the entire season completely put together in a book. And I've had that for 50 years, and I bring it back occasionally, and I had it last night. And it was interesting just to see the reaction of everybody being able to flip through there. And I do it myself, probably once a year anyway. I grab it and get it out and just sort of sit there and daydream and flip through it. So it was really special. We really had a great locker room. When you got 3 Hall of Famers on your team, sometimes your minutes get limited, and mine was from time to time. So I kind of felt my job was to sort of keep the locker room, what do you think, guys, loose? But there's something to be said about that. We never, if you looked at our stats, we never had a 20-point a game score. We always had balanced scoring. Probably if you go down those media guides, there was a different leading rebounder every game. There was a different guy leading us in scoring. So, I think we just, the affection that we had for each other and how we cared about each other, and we didn't have any of the kind of locker room stuff you hear or see about some of the professional sports these days. So I think that was important in us kind of reaching that final goal that we did. We did have a gentleman that presented us with something at the luncheon today that we had. He was a 76 graduate, didn't play, but was a big fan and kind of stayed in contact with us over the years, Al Abrams. So I guess we should probably make him an honorary team member or something probably tonight. He and Coach got together and said, why don't all you guys share a cherished moment or 2 that you had in that season and send it to Al, Al's got some background in marketing and got that kind of stuff, and they put this little booklet together. And Coach asked me just now, he said, have you had a chance to read that yet? Because we passed them out at the luncheon today. And I said, well, not really. I had to run back and shower and then get back up to the gym. So I'm looking forward to sitting down maybe tomorrow and reading through that. And none of us know what the other ones wrote about or talked about or said, and that's a pretty special gift as well. So, with that, again, I think that's all I wanted to say. Thank you again to the committee, and congratulations to all the other recipients up here. And it's been a great weekend. I look forward to this. I've been back. Coach has been here 18 years. I think today was my 23rd straight alumni basketball game. And I've been back. I just like coming back. And the young guys are pretty good to the old guys. And I'm the only old guy, so I appreciate that, guys. So with that, thank you. Enjoy the evening. And again, congratulations to all the other recipients. Thank you.
At this time, we will introduce the members of, we will introduce the members of the 74-75 men's basketball team to receive their award. Scott Burbacher. Oh. Come on. Scott Burbacher. Art Clark. Alex Colares. Dennis Droznek. Bert Edwards. Jeff Faloba. Glenn Reese. Chuck Robinson. Mark Ryan. Tom Sowers. Ellen White. And coaches, assistant coach Jim Daffler, and head coach, Hall of Famer Phil Roach. Our next team to be honored, the 1975 baseball team. The team that set the standard for the Edda Express to go on and win multiple national championships and was coached by legendary Hall of Famer Don Shally. I would like to introduce Hall of Fame member Jim Tracy to speak on behalf of the 75 team.
Thank you very much, Debbie. Thank you. It's an honor for me to be up here. There's a lot of reasons for it, and maybe the biggest reason is the fact that, number one, I'm the only one on the club now that can walk this far. And the other thing being that when I started here with the 1975 Marietta College Pioneers, I was just a freshman. So it's an absolute honor, really, for me to stand up here and talk to you guys for just a couple minutes about one very special baseball team that I had the honor and the privilege of playing with. You know, I've been blessed in my life to travel to a lot of different places over the course of a 33-year professional career. And this group of people, we're all people. It doesn't matter if you're in Division I, II, or III, you're playing in the minor leagues, you're playing in the big leagues, we're all people. And each and every individual has special qualities. This team that I want to talk about had qualities that I observed that were through the roof. Actually, I at times catch myself and ask myself, you know, really, how the hell did I end up spending 33 years in professional baseball? Because at the time I was a senior at Baden High School in Hamilton, Ohio, that was much, much more than just a distant memory, really. But I really, as I mentioned, I'm honored to be up here to speak and really have an opportunity that I really haven't had to say thank you to a group of upperclassmen that I had the privilege of playing with. I reflect about it a lot. I've been involved in a lot of different games in a lot of different leagues at a lot of different levels. The game against Florida Southern is still one that it hurts every time I think about it 50 years later. It's just a very, very painful thing to think about. And I've taken some incredible losses at the major league level, but this one hurts as bad as any of those. I did have a quick story, really, I want to tell you, is my wife couldn't be here and wanted to be here with me, my wife Deb, and we have neighbors that live across the street from us at our place down in Florida, Bob and Betty, and they're getting up in years, as I'm sure all of us are really, but a few days ago before I left to come this way, Betty, Bob's wife, walked over to talk to my wife, and she seemed very, very concerned, and Deb asked her, you know, Betty, what's the problem? And Betty said to my wife, she said, Deb, you know, Bob woke up and said something very alarming to me this morning. He got up and he looked at me, and Bob is a very, very religious Christian man. He attends services on Sunday regularly. And Betty said, Bob looked at me, Deb, and said, honey, I really hope that there's golf in the afterlife. And Betty told my wife, she said, I looked at Bob and I said, Bob, you know what you need to do? You need to drive around the corner to Our Lady of Angels and pray on that. Because I think you're just overreacting to something that maybe you were dreaming about or whatever. So Bob took Betty's advice and he got in the car and drove around the corner. It's close to where we live, to Our Lady of Angels. And he was sitting there, and all of a sudden there's other people that had come in and, you know, to do their little silent prayers and things like that. It was during the week. And only Bob heard this voice. And it was the Lord. None of the other people in the church could hear it. And the Lord said to Bob, he said, Bob, I heard you and I have an answer for you. He said, but unfortunately, there's some good news and some bad news. And Bob looked at or listened and he whispered, not realizing that only him and our Lord were the only two talking to one another. And he said, well, he said, you know, with everything that I've been thinking about, it's been going through my mind the last several days, he said, give me the good news first. Bob's an avid golfer, loved golf. I've played with Bob. His handicap's a hell of a lot lower than mine. And so our Lord said to Bob, he said, Bob, listen, he said, Bob's prayer before he heard from the Lord was, Lord, he said, you know, I want to thank you for my wife, my family, my friends, and the fact that I get to play the game of golf. And so our Lord said to Bob, he said, Bob, let me tell you something. He said, up here in heaven, he said, we have 1,000 championship caliber courses here in heaven. He said, the other thing is, he said, there's no such thing as slow play. All the golf is free, and you never lose a golf ball. And Bob thought to himself, my God. He said, you know, after you telling me all that kind of good stuff, he said, Lord, what could be the bad news? He said, Bob, unfortunately, your tee time's at 9:30 tomorrow. I would first of all like to thank the committee, Jeff Shalley and the rest of this wonderful committee, Debbie, all of you, for bringing back, in my opinion, one of maybe the most special athletic team to ever participate here, and I'll get into real quickly in a minute as to why. I'd also like to congratulate all the inductees sitting here at the table, John, Bethany, right, Chrissy, Ryan, and Chrissy. Now, Caleb's not here. Debbie said that we were going to speak to Caleb. Are we going to speak to him, Deb? Tremendous. Well, I kind of think, you know what, I don't know that he's in Australia, Deb, because when I was driving here yesterday with McEwen, I thought it was Caleb because a kangaroo was chasing him, and they were running north on the 77 chasing Forrest Gump. I saw Forrest Gump going in the other. He may be here, but we'll see. He may be here. He may be here. Let me begin real quick by saying I've mentioned how much of a privilege. I go back to the fall of 1974. And any of the guys that are here with me tonight understand and have been there with myself back in the fall of 1974 and 105 other freshmen that showed up thinking that they were going to play baseball at Marietta College. Now I'm going to read to you because it'll be very quick. We all felt and hoped that we were going to get an opportunity to become a part of an extremely elite baseball program. I, like so many other players who are here tonight, from whatever era of the program, had no idea when we walked onto this campus as a freshman how special this program really was. Success had been achieved by other teams here prior to us, but our mentor was looking to elevate his program to an elite level. What needs to be portrayed tonight is why the Hall of Fame committee would consider putting a team into its hall that finished as a national runner-up. Prior to 1976, the NCAA college athletics had 3 recognizable divisions, 1, 2, and 3. And Division 2 and 3 had more than 700 colleges and universities competing against one another at that time. Another interesting caveat about this whole thing is that Division II athletes were paid to play athletes, scholarshiped athletes. So when we began our season in 1974, we started off as we did every spring on our trip down to Panama City, and had stops the first 2 days and played 4 games against Division I schools in Davidson, Georgia Tech, and Auburn. And to make a long story short, as we went along through that season, we ended up winning 44 out of 50 games, and our record against the different divisions, we won 7 out of 9 games against Division I opponents. Our record against Division II opponents were 15-3. We were 20-1 against Division III opponents and 2-0 against NAIA schools. We won the OAC championship, beating Ohio Northern, and went to the NCAA Mid-East Regional, and from that point forward, never saw another Division III school. We were the only one competing in the Mid-East Regional and the College World Series. We reached the final game of the season against Florida Southern and unfortunately got beat. But what needs to be said about all this, I'm telling you about the 1975 team. I want to take a second and acknowledge 3 of the 3 tri-captains we had on that team: Kim Stanberry, Kenny Levesque, and Neil Parsley. Unfortunately, Neil's not with us tonight, but his sister Brenda and his wife Kim and daughter Katie are, and we're blessed and privileged to have them sitting here with us. I want all the guys that I had the privilege of participating with, and very quickly, I'm not trying to slight anyone, but these guys are more than teammates of mine, and it took over the years for me to realize the fact of how special these people are. You often catch yourself and ask yourself and wonder, how did you get here? How did you get there? This place where I'm standing tonight and these people I'm with, I've come to realize had a heck of a lot to do in molding me and helped to make me the person that I feel like I've become, the competitor that I feel like I became. When you're a freshman and you're playing with an entire group of upperclassmen, you don't have an opportunity to say a whole lot. You don't have much of an opinion on anything. You just hope that when your situation comes around and your opportunity shows up, that you get a chance to contribute. So to Kim Stanberry, who's one of my dear, dear friends, I love the man. Neil, our 5 seniors, Kim Stanberry, Neil Parsley, Chuck Robinson, the late Frank Slavinsky, and Kenny Levesque. We, the rest of the club, salute every single one of you, because we know what you guys went through and the challenges you faced along the way and how badly you wanted what we were after in 1975. But also, in my opinion, to vote to McMillan, Levesque I just mentioned, Gary Rowland, Rob Check, Marty Bauer, and Joe Yazambek, along with Danny Settles and Dwayne Tice, all upper class guys that I had the privilege of participating with in 1975. I salute every single one of you. Before I go, I just wanted to say this. What needs to be very clear is that all of us, and I'm not just talking about the 75 team, I'm talking about the Marietta College program, that Don Shalley would be so very proud of if he was sitting here, because of his vision when he started back in 1964. And one of our in support of attendees, Mike Wright, went out in his first game and pitched a no-hitter for him, who him and his wife Mary are in attendance here. Also, another very special guy to a pitching staff that was second to none. I don't care what division of college athletics you're talking about. Pat Tatum and his wife Cindy. Pat Tatum, our pitching coach. Parsley and Stanberry's combined records that year was 22-1. Danny Settles was 7-1, and Dwayne Tice won 8 out of 10. That's pretty damn good. You know, if I'd had a couple of those guys, I wouldn't have gotten fired as much as I did. But there are other people here in support of our ball club that are a part of this program, and I want you to know that all of you are very much a part of this evening with us. Terry Malawite's here. We thank you. One of our equipment people, Bobby Fortuna, is here with us. But what needs to be very clear is that all of us have been part of this program over the years, and we represented more than just ourselves. We represented our school, our community, and the tradition of excellence that defines Marietta College baseball. This honor is not just for us, but for all the players, coaches, and staff who have contributed to the rich history of this program. We are proud to be part of a legacy that continues to inspire current and future generations of student athletes to dream big and strive for greatness. We are especially proud of the fact that we established an expectation level for a program that far exceeds just showing up and playing out a season. There's nothing more beautiful and fulfilling in sports than to see a group of men or women come together as part of a team and play to become a champion with no regard whatsoever as to who it is that gets the credit. That, in a nutshell, describes the mentality of the 1975 Marietta College baseball team. In closing, I would once again like to thank the committee and all those that in one way or another who had anything to do with bringing this team home to its rightful place. Thank you for all your attention and listening to all that I had to say. Thank you to every single one of those upperclassmen that I had the privilege of participating with and this phenomenal team. Once again, congratulations to all the rest of you inductees, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you very much.
The members of the team could come forward to receive their awards. Mike Saccone, Mike Elston, Tom Katowski, Brian McCown, Jack Pangle, representing Neil Parsley, his wife Kimberly, Chuck Robinson, Gary Rowland, Kim Stanberry, Ron Safranik, Dwayne Tice, Jim Tracy, Joe Vogt, Joe Yozombek, and staff, Bob Fortuna and Pat Tatum. Congratulations to our team inductees. Now we will be presenting the individual Hall of Fame inductees. John Fink played all 4 years for legendary and Hall of Fame coach Don Cholly. John came to Marietta from Pennsylvania and had the dream of playing baseball for Marietta College. John's accomplishments and his induction tonight is a reminder to us of the storied history of Marietta College baseball. I had the opportunity to watch John compete on the field. He was a great competitor and a sure-handed first baseman. His teammates knew that whatever throw would come his way, John would have it scooped up to make that spectacular play at first base. John was a force at the plate and could intimidate any pitcher that he faced. One of his proudest moments was hitting the game-winning home run that sent the team into the 1984 World Series. Here's what his assistant coach, Paul Page, had to say. As we remember John Fink, 2 qualities immediately come to mind. First was John's outstanding work ethic. He spent the necessary energy, effort, and time to become an outstanding player. He became a role model for his Pioneer teammates. Second, he came to the field day in and day out with an upbeat attitude that demonstrated his love of the game. Those 2 qualities, coupled with his athletic talent and growing confidence, were the strength of a highly respected and team player who played a significant role in the Pioneers' incredible success. John is the Associate Director of Workplace Safety for Barber National Institute. He and his wife live in Erie, Pennsylvania with their 2 children. Ladies and gentlemen, John Fink.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I think, Debbie, you hit it on the head right there. Nailed it. I'm kidding. Anyway, I say a lot of things. I may not know what I'm going to say, or you may not know what you're going to hear. But anyway, I do want to thank the committee members for putting this on, for making decisions, for having me here. I want to also say congratulations to the people that are with me on here. everybody who had anything to do with this event too was great. I mean, a lot of nice people. I'm enjoying myself. Okay, so I was thinking to myself, what can I do? What can I say, here in front of everybody, and about my history here. So I had to think about, how did I get here? Now, apparently there's some rumor now that Doctor brought up that I don't have a degree, but I do. No, I have a degree. But when I was in high school, I remember my senior year, our English teacher was saying to everybody, now who's planning on going to college, whatever, and I went, John, you're going to college? Yes. Yeah, and I'm like, yeah. What do you mean? What do you mean? My sister said I had to. So anyway, that right there, I knew I had to go to college, and I loved baseball, and I wanted to play baseball, and I had some success when I was younger, up through high school and that kind of stuff, but I didn't know how to go to college or how to get them. I thought people were going to look for me. I don't think people didn't really look for me, but I did get a letter from Coach Shawley. And I thought, that letter, I read it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he must know me from something. Maybe it was that tournament I was in. Maybe it was this, whatever. So, and I saw that we won a tournament, the year before, the national championship, and I said, oh, I'm going there. So I think I let them know I'm coming, him, his team, and then I let the school know I'm coming, and I was accepted. So anyway, I let him know I was coming, and I'm thinking, maybe I wasn't this smart, or things were different back then, but I didn't visit. I didn't visit here at all. I just came. My mom and dad just dropped me off. And I didn't know anybody, didn't know anything other than that letter that made me think, oh, this is a good place, And so I came. And then I'm still thinking, he must know I'm pretty good. So then we had to try out, And I'm like, we have to try out. And I swear there was, usually I think a full team was like 40 kids, 42. And so I get there, and there's 120 kids trying out my freshman year. And that was the old team, everybody who's made it, and then the new people. And I'm like, wow, Anyway, so I went through that, worked hard, something he liked me about, something, whatever. Then, I made it through. That first year, it wasn't the first year. It was after the first year. My roommate got cut. So then people are getting cut. So if you make it the first year, he at that time I think there was about 20 players, out of the 42. So then it was cut down to like 10 the next year. And my roommate, he moved out. He moved to Buffalo, and I got a new roommate. And anyway, so it was different all the time. And then I realized, man, we have to really compete. We really have to show ourselves. And I knew that, but I just didn't really know that at that age, So I kept doing it. I thought I was working hard. I thought I was, performing. I love baseball. There was no doubt about that. Did not like school. But I liked everything here about school. I mean, I could have gone anywhere and said, I don't like school. I mean, that's, so believe me, it was great here. It was great here. So anyway, so I realized Coach Shawley, I mean, I learned so much, from him. I think we all did. I learned from the players. The players were coming in, and they were the ones that were making the team every year were like just high quality players. I never played with that many players, but it was really, I learned from them. It was an honor, privilege to do that. So anyway, I get to, let's see, it was my junior year, and I had a little bit of a weight problem. And Coach Shawley called me in, and he said, John, I want to talk to you about your weight, and what do you think? What do you think is a good playing weight for me? And I'm like, 228. That's what I wore. That's what I was right at the time. That didn't work. That didn't work. So he's got me right there. He wants an answer. He goes, but you got to be comfortable about it. You got to be comfortable, whatever. And I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking, Terry Mulholland, he played at 215, and he's taller than me. So I'm thinking, I got to go lower than that. So I ended up, I don't know why, I said 195. He gave me 3 months to lose 30 pounds, or I'd be cut. If I didn't make, like every week, I had to weigh in. If I didn't make a weigh-in, I got cut. Yeah. So the therapy's going pretty good now. So anyway, so I did it. I made it. I did it. Whatever, that kind of thing. So that was my junior year. I played. I got to play first base. John Hefner, who was here, a lot of guys are here. John Hefner was here, who was an excellent player, excellent first baseman. For some reason, no, I'm not going to go into details, but he couldn't play that year. He wasn't in jail or anything, but he couldn't play there, so there was no other choice, I guess. So I'm first base, so I played first base and that kind of thing. So anyway, we had a great year, all that stuff there. I go to my senior year, and I gained some weight again, but Coach Shelley didn't care. I couldn't play at 195. No. So anyway, so that year, I was a co-captain with Monty Duncan, and Monty did not have a weight problem. He was an excellent athlete, and just, great at everything. So anyway, senior year, played that. I was at DH because my arm, I blew something out. And then, Hef was at first base, nothing lost there. So anyway, towards the end of the year, right before our regional tournament, I slid into third base, and I did something to my leg, and my ankle, and I could barely walk, and we taped it up really good, and whatever. But I thought I could play, and I was just a DH. I mean, I should be able to hit. But Coach Shelley, he took me. We were ready for our first game, and he took me out to the football field, and I had to run figure eights around the goalpost bottoms. It was an old one, had two of them. And had to run through, and then I had to run through the other way. And I wasn't fast anyway, But the point is that there was a chance I was not going to play. And I'm like, I'm fine, I can hit, I'm fine, But he has to make hard decisions. I mean, that's something I got out of it towards the end of that year, and in the future when I'm coaching kids and, experiencing different things. He had to make a lot of tough decisions, the cutting of people. He tried to make the best team possible out of what he had every year. And that's where we were. We wanted to win. We wanted to work hard. We had, good ethic, good students. Me, that kind of thing. So anyway, I learned a lot. I learned a lot from Coach Shelley. Definitely, I learned a lot from the players. So I was getting to a point. All of that, I wouldn't have expected to be here today, to be in the Hall of Fame. But it's a lot went into it. I could tell you a lot of other stories, but a lot of good stories. And I'm here with some of my players. Wave your hands. Some guys have played with me. Yep, and they're all classy guys and very good guys. So your story, but I think I'm gonna end it here. So thank you. Okay.
Well, John, after all that, I'm relieved that you came back to us. On behalf of the Marietta College trustees, faculty, and staff, I present this plaque signifying your induction into the Marietta College Athletic Hall of Fame.
Good.
I think we were, but maybe not. Our next inductee was a 4-year All-Ohio Athletic Conference team honoree playing for head coach Patrick Holguin. Bethany was an integral part of some of our most successful teams in women's soccer history. Bethany was a focal point of OAC coaches. When the ball was coming off the opponent's foot, you knew the odds were that it was going to get deflected or scooped up before getting close to the goal. She was fun to watch as her long ball kicks from goal to the midfield or even longer many times gave our team the advantage to begin their attack. Her perseverance, tenacity, and competitive spirit was always evident on the field. In addition to her athletic success, Bethany was an outstanding student, graduating magna cum laude and achieving academic All-American her senior year. Here's what her head coach, Patrick Holguin, had to say. Bethany was the ideal student athlete. She was committed to soccer, the team, and all of her teammates. She also valued community, giving back with her time to work and mentor local kids. She had a sweet disposition until she stepped on the field, and then she became a ferocious and vocal team leader. Opponents had to watch out, but she was a dominant presence in the box. As a goalkeeper, she made the saves she was supposed to, but then every game she made those spectacular ones. She was a fantastic ambassador for Marietta College, and it was an honor to have worked with her. Bethany has a doctorate in physical therapy and has been a physical therapist at University Hospital for 15 years. She and her husband, Joe Brennan, class of 2006, live in Cleveland Heights with their 2 children. Ladies and gentlemen, Bethany Blahnik Brennan.
I always get a little nervous with public speaking, but recently I got some really great advice. They told me, don't be nervous. They already gave you the award. They can't take it back. So this is what I'm going to try to do for you all today. I want to thank the members of the induction committee for this distinguished honor. I also want to congratulate the other members of the 42nd class. I'm sure you all feel the same way I do. Honored, grateful, and maybe a little nervous. I would not be here tonight if it wasn't for my family. My mom spent countless hours at the practice field, driving me all over the state to different tournaments, cheering me on no matter what the crazy weather conditions were playing in, and doing more loads of laundry than anyone could count, and that was before college. She has been my biggest fan, and her commitment here only continued throughout my 4 years at Marietta. So, Mom, thank you. You should probably on that plaque with me. My dad, who's also a member of the Long Blue Line, inspired me to be a collegiate athlete like himself. He taught me the importance of hard work on the field and in the classroom. He led by example, and my dream were always to make him proud. I can remember the day I told him I wanted to tour Marietta like it was yesterday. He ran upstairs, grabbed his Letterman coat and his captain's blanket, and he told me a few stories I don't think I can say here tonight. But I will never forget the pride in his voice and when he spoke about his time here at Marietta. And I knew this college was something special. So thank you, Dad, for all your love, support throughout the years, and encouragement to attend this great institution. Thank you to my teammates. I would not be standing here today if it wasn't for them. This award is just as much theirs as mine. As a goalkeeper, you're only as good as the women standing in front of you. I was blessed to play with a group of ladies who are outstanding. Amy Spell was the first player from our team to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and I know she won't be the last. My shout-out records are a reflection of our defense, which was led by Emily Knowlton and Kristen Drain. These ladies held my back on every play, and I had theirs. As a player, you only remember certain plays in some games, but what you will never forget are the laughs in the locker room, the funny rituals on the bus rides, and the long hours on the practice field. I want to thank Coach Pat and all the other members of the coaching staff during my 4 years. Coach Pat was not only the leader to our team, but the other men's program as well. Our coaches developed 2 programs that still hold records today. The 2002 men's team holds the records for most wins in a season with 12, and our 2005 team still holds the record for most wins in a season with 14. We were able to accomplish these goals because of their leadership guidance. Both programs traveled together, trained together, and became one family because of it. I would not have been the same player if it wasn't for all of them, so thank you. Anyone who knows me knows how much I love my time here at Marietta College. Once a tour guide, always a tour guide. I will talk to anyone who listens about how special this school is. Nothing reminds me more than the flood of 2004. I was a junior, and I remember standing on the 4th floor of Parsons, and those of you who don't know Parsons, you're not really missing much. I was scanning my surroundings, and out in the balcony, it looked like the campus and town were covered with one large brown tarp. The water kept rising and rising all the way up to the steps of the dorm, and when it was all over, the crossbars of the brand new football field were underwater. Coach Pat had to watch all the brand new grass seed they just laid down go down the Ohio River. This was the largest flood in the city since 1964. Students were sent home for a week, but all the fall athletes, coaches, and a few other groups stayed on campus. It didn't matter what your sport or what your major or your job title. Everyone on campus came together to help support the city. And that's what makes Marietta so beautiful. You're not only a member of the college, but a member of this community for life. And your relationship to both will last a lifetime. And I am forever grateful for this. Marietta not only allowed me to have success on the field, but gave me the opportunity to thrive in the classroom. I would not be the professional I am today if it wasn't for the dedicated professors I came across here. You're never a number to them. They teach their own classes, and they are truly invested in your success. They gave me the knowledge and desire to pursue my dreams, go to graduate school, and earn my doctorate of physical therapy. So thank you to all of my professors. Last but not least, I'm most thankful for my time here because I met the love of my life, Joe. Joe and I share our experiences of being college athletes, which we kind of laugh about today when we can't get off the floor, and funny stories about dorm life, and most of all, our love for Marietta to our children, Ellie and AJ, in hopes that maybe one day, too, they will become members of the Long Blue Line. Thank you just doesn't seem like enough for how grateful I am that our paths crossed here at Marietta College. Love you, honey. My final message is to the young athletes in the room. I know that the practices can be brutal. The early morning training sessions are the worst, and the balance between school and sport can be difficult. But when it's all said and done, you look back at your time here and you truly miss it all. So work hard, study hard, and remember, most importantly, have fun. Thank you.
Bethany, on behalf of Marietta College trustees, faculty, and staff, I present this plaque signifying your induction into the Marietta College Athletic Hall of Fame. If I can lift it. There we go. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, I need to check here. Are we meeting Caleb now? Okay. I promised you we're going to meet Caleb. Caleb Mueller is one of the most decorated long-distance cross-country track and field of our program, achieving All-American status in both cross-country and track and field. Caleb exemplified the commitment and the perseverance that it takes to achieve at the highest level. His smile and pleasant demeanor, his humility added to his remarkable accomplishments. He can best be described by his head coach, George Evans. Caleb Mueller's name will forever be synonymous with excellence in both Marietta College cross country and track and field. As the only individual cross country champion in Marietta's history, Caleb's legacy is unmatched. But his impact extended far beyond cross country. Throughout his career, Caleb demonstrated incredible versatility across the 3 seasons of a college running year. With 11 individual OAC championships across track and cross country, Caleb's consistency and determination set him apart. He was honored as the OAC's most outstanding runner 3 times, solidifying his place as one of the nation's premier distance runners. Beyond his athletic achievements, Caleb's academic excellence showcases his well-rounded character and unwavering dedication. Watching Caleb evolve during his time at Marietta was nothing short of incredible. He wasn't just a talented athlete, he was a leader who set the tone for our entire program. Caleb is an IT business partner with Burnett Institute and lives in Western Australia with his wife Liz and their child, and they are expecting their second child in April. Ladies and gentlemen, Caleb Mueller, and I please turn your attention to the screens.
Hi everyone, I'm recording this from Canberra in Australia, which is why I'm not there with you all today in person. I'm honoured to be part of this year's Hall of Fame class, especially with the representation from track and field with Ryan and Chrissy. My years at Marietta from 2009 to 2013 were my most exciting and competitive. When it comes to track and field and cross-country running, I look on those memories fondly, and I still try to run and compete, but I'm a bit slower now that I have a 2-year-old and another child on the way. I'm very grateful to have had the experience that I did at Marietta College with great coaches like Derek Stanley, Todd Fraser, and George Evans, as well as a really fun and supportive team where I built cherished friendships that I still keep in touch with, like Caleb Ellis and Sean Hoover. So I just wanted to say thank you to the committee that selects the Hall of Fame for including me this year, and also congratulations to all of this year's inductees.
Our next inductee is a bit of an anomaly in today's world of college athletics. Chrissy Knabb, was a 2-sport athlete at Marietta College, and I can attest that that is a rare breed. To not only play 2 sports for her college career, but to excel in both is the exception. Her 2 head coaches both best describe Chrissy's success. Head coach George Evans had this to say: "The great thing about Chrissy is she loves to compete. It didn't matter the sport, the event, how much rest time she had, how much time to prepare. None of it mattered to her because she was so mentally tough and had such a drive for competition." Probably one of the most gifted female athletes in terms of speed, jumping, stamina that Marietta has ever seen. But she was passionate about her events and tirelessly worked at her craft, especially basketball. I have a vivid memory of Chrissy pulling away for a win in the 200-meter final at Mount Union in her last individual event of her career. Was she the fastest runner in the field that day? Maybe. But she wanted it more than anyone else, and that's why she is here today. Here's what her head basketball coach, Stacer Schreider, had to say. "Chrissy was one of the hardest workers I have ever had the privilege of coaching. She approached each day with an unwavering work ethic and a relentless desire to improve. There are few athletes with the kind of mindset she possesses. But beyond her athletic abilities, Chrissy is an outstanding person. She led with integrity and set the highest standard for her teammates and everyone around her on and off the court." Chrissy is a graduate of our physician assistant program, but she is currently an at-home mom, She and her husband, class of 2012 Hall of Famer Kevin Knabb, live in Marietta with their 2 children. Ladies and gentlemen, Chrissy Knabb.
Thank you. They make you sound really good when they come up here and go on about you. I told Debbie earlier tonight, I feel like an imposter standing up here. Just some of the people I know that are on that wall, to be in company with them is very, very humbling. I do want to take a minute to thank everyone in attendance tonight. It's really fun to come back to your alma mater and like reminisce on your glory days. But to come back and get to be a part of like a celebration like this and a ceremony, and I mean, I think you guys probably feel the same way. It's just really special. So for teammates and coaches and just everybody that came tonight to be a part of this, thank you for being here, because it's special because you get to share it. You know, anybody can come back to their alma mater and celebrate by themselves, but to share it with other people is a lot of fun. I also want to thank the Hall of Fame committee, because, like I said, I feel like an imposter up here. And the fact that, you would remember my career and consider me for this honor, it really means a lot to me. This is never anything I would have dreamed of. And I don't think many people do when they're here. You're not thinking about being in the Hall of Fame. You're a student athlete. You're getting up every day, just doing the grind and trying to make the most out of your time here. So to be on this end of it and get to celebrate and really, I think maybe one of the baseball players said, to have the opportunity to thank the people that got you here. I'm really grateful to be up here. You've heard a list of accomplishments and accolades, and really, I don't think my time here at Marietta College is much different than most other MC athletes. There's a group of you out here today, and when I was here, I was working hard and doing all the same things you were. So keep doing what you're doing, because I don't feel like there was anything special that I was doing that most other athletes on this campus don't do every day. I've had the opportunity to be at this dinner. This is actually my 4th time coming. I was here in 2012 when Josh Strait was inducted for the men's baseball team. Again, in 2013, Jesse DePera was inducted for the men's basketball team. These are 2 individuals I never knew, but just hearing their stories those days when I was in the crowd, I'll never forget, their careers just from listening. I was here again in 2023 when the graduating class of 2012 inducted 8 members from their class into the Hall of Fame, one of which was my teammate Ashley Balt and my husband Kevin Knabb. So the other names that I can think of on that wall, Tiffany Kovacevic, she's one of the 3 women's track and field athletes that has been inducted, and then Kathy Clark when she was here with women's basketball, Justine Pagenhart with women's basketball. To be included in this group it's a huge honor. I really can't say that enough. I had 2 very different experiences in athletics when I came here. The women's track and field team, when I joined my freshman year, they were really primed for success. Coach Stanley had built, a good team, and we were contenders to win the OAC every year that I ran here, which really speaks to the breadth of talent that we had in a multitude of events. We had an All-American javelin thrower, Sammy Hood. We had Ashley Bolt, who was inducted in, I think, 23. She's the most decorated female athlete to come through this school. She was incredible. We had Lauren Asbury with sprints. We had our mid-distance team with Christy Timms, Corinne Minch, Brittany Sims. We had a lot of pieces to make it a special team. In contrast to that, the women's basketball team, when I started here in the fall of my sophomore year, was really just trying to build something. We were at the beginning of something. My junior year, the assistant coach became the head coach, and we recruited Coach Cole Vivian as our head assistant. And really, these 2 are credited with completely turning around the program. This was a program that really only understood how to lose. And it takes a certain coach to step into that and to demand something more. You know, it's hard to do that, to change a culture like that. So I do want to speak about my basketball time a little bit here. My junior and senior year, we won 10 games, and we made the OAC tournament as like the bottom seed. And that hardly sounds like success, I know, but that was something that hadn't been done in decades, you know, and by the time we were able to do that. My senior year, we defeated Capital, which prior to that, we hadn't defeated Capital in my lifetime. So that was just a huge accomplishment for us. We were so proud of that, you know. And my senior year, we also knocked off Mount Union. They were ranked 11th in the country. We beat them in overtime at home. And that's largely a credit to Tori Dixon. She had an unbelievable scoring performance. I think, Tori, what did you score, like 33 points? It's unbelievable. And our post players, just the grit that they had that night, you know, Candace Alexander and Heather Booth. We had a special team. We never reaped what we sowed in that regard. You know, I don't share like the story of, you know, what someone would call like non-success or something like that, but I share it because the pursuit when you're an athlete, you know, if you're spending your time well, is success. That's what we're all trying to do, but it's ill-defined. What is success? How do you get there? What does that look like? What I am most proud of myself and my teammates for is our ability to endure. And like I said, we never reaped what we sowed, but I was here as a volunteer assistant with the 2017-2018 team. That was a team that was anchored by the senior class of Amisha Hurd, Brooke Borich, Jenna Anderson, Ashley Barker, and Mara Woods, and they won the first OAC title in school history. And to see the program really come that full way, I mean, it was fun to be a part of, even as a coach. You know, just so proud of those girls. And I think that that's a class that understood the same thing, that if you're going to succeed, you have to endure. That's why they had a class of 5 seniors. So that program has gone on to make an NCAA appearance 4 times, Sweet 16 appearance. They're a respected face in the OAC, and I'm proud of that. I feel like maybe we laid some groundwork for the girls that came after us. Within the last several years on this campus, you can look around and you can find innumerable stories of what it is to be a pioneer. So the men's basketball team is probably the trendsetters in this regard. But under Coach Vanderwaal's vision, they've endured small beginnings, and they now defend a legacy of winning. Coach Waddle, I don't know if he's here tonight, and I haven't seen him, but he started here with the football team 12 years ago, and his first 4 seasons would be deemed unsuccessful by most definitions. He and his staff and his players endured. And this past year, they were contenders for an OAC championship and a tournament run. Our women's volleyball team consistently carried a winning percentage below 500 from the time I graduated in 2012 until 2022. Coach Newman was hired on in 2018, and by 2024, the team achieved an unbelievable 24-2 record, OAC championship, and NCAA tournament appearance, and they also got to host, which is so cool. This is that's the true spirit of a pioneer. It's to start with a vision, to endure through the adversity, and to pave the way for the next one in line. I am and always will be proud to be a Pio. I do want to take a moment more of your time to thank you for the pioneers in my life who paved the way for me. I first want to start with my mom. My mother was widowed at age 44. My father died suddenly from a heart attack, and she still had 3 of her 4 children at home. She was not formally educated, but she went back to school to get her bachelor's and later master's. And I was never denied an opportunity, despite the fact that we financially had very little. And that's due to my mom. Her sacrificial love and the generosity of my hometown community. So I learned to be a pioneer first from my mom. My 3 older brothers, they're here tonight with me. I was 8 when my father passed, and if you know anything about statistics in that regard, it can be really a devastating thing to grow up without a father. But I had 3 older brothers who protected me, They disciplined me, they loved me, and I only ever knew love and worth because of them. My grit and my moral compass is a direct reflection of their influence on my life. And my desire to succeed is really the result of a trailblaze before me. I'm probably the least accomplished of everyone in my family, so my brothers were some of the first pioneers to show me that you do not submit to circumstances. We came from a humble home. We lived lean out of necessity. But my brothers showed me that you could succeed beyond what others would say is appropriate or expected of you. And I thank them for that. My teammates, when you play two sports, you're always sacrificing time with one for the other. And I was lucky to have teammates who understood that. And they supported me and they celebrated my success. I specifically want to thank Paige Lamb, Tori Dixon, Candace Alexander, and Heather Booth. A majority of my basketball career was spent on the floor with these four women, and I'm very proud of what we accomplished in our time together. These four were a source of strength and encouragement for me, and I never would have endured without them. For track, I want to thank Ashley Balt, who was a huge inspiration for me, but also my training partner in the heptathlon and my friend for the endless downtime that you have in track. My 4x4 relay team, Corinne Minch, Christy Timms, and Brittany Sims, much of my success in track is equally theirs as well. To my coaches, I mentioned to be a pioneer, you must first start with a vision, and a good coach becomes the figure of that vision. Coach Schreider became that vision for the women's basketball program. She never acquired a taste for losing, even in the midst of a lot of losing. That's tough to do. She never faltered on standards or expectations, and circumstances did not matter to her. I came to not only understand this, but also value and appreciate it in my senior year. And this mentality is the greatest driver of my success beyond college. To Coach Vivian, he is just a joy to play for and to coach with. He is rightfully credited with the complete turnaround of the women's basketball program. And I'm extremely proud of what he accomplished here, and I'm grateful for the time that I had to play under him. Coach Stalter, he's one of the finest men I've ever met, next to my husband. In a halftime speech, he left a lasting impression when he taught me that there is little in life that is 50-50. You must always be willing to give 100% to anything that matters, even if you are receiving less or nothing in return. To Coach Stanley, I would have never made it here to Marietta College without him. He helped me transfer from the University of Toledo in between semesters, and he was a special kind of person. I mean, he was beloved by his athletes, and he took track and turned it into like a very team-spirited sport. If there's any track athletes in here, that's not really a common thing. It's not really like it's unique to have that, and he was able to accomplish that. Coach Cholik, he was my events coach for track. I would not have ran track 4 years without that man. He was extremely dedicated to his athletes. The amount of thought that he put into methods and the way he understood his athletes' tendencies, he really is probably one of the greatest coaches I've ever had in track. Coach Evans was my head track coach my senior year. He had just an unlimited amount of confidence in me. And it really spurred my own confidence to perform at a high level my senior year. I don't know that I believed that I could do everything he committed me to, but he signed me up for it, and I didn't want to let him down, so we made it work. But my husband, Kevin, he was with me through it all. He still is. There are probably several times I would have quit track in my career without him there spurring me along. His love has given me courage to be myself, and our accountability to each other has pushed me to be better. And I'm most proud to the commitment that we made to endure in this life together. And I'm grateful to Marietta College for setting the stage of our love story. Kev, if I'm a pioneer, then you're the final frontier. To my daughter, Evelyn, and my son, Lucas, most of you will relate to this, I think, being removed from athletics for a prolonged period of time, it really has a way of stripping you of pieces of yourself. And when I became a mom, my children have really helped me to find those bits and pieces of myself again, the bit of self-sacrifice and strength and grit that I had lost. Becoming a mom, I had to find those things again. So I hope someday my children will know what it is to be a pioneer. And finally, to God, who's blessed me with all of these and so much more, and to Jesus Christ, who endured and overcame so that we could too. Thank you for your time.
That's okay. That's okay. Stay here a minute. Chrissy, on behalf of the Marietta College trustees, faculty, and staff, I present this plaque signifying your induction into the Marietta College Athletic Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Our final inductee is one of the most accomplished men's track and field athletes in the history of our program. His speed and athleticism in the various hurdle events sets Ryan Lopez Jordan apart in the history of Marietta College track and field. His explosion out of the blocks and the crossing of each hurdle was exciting to see. But it's his head coach, George Evans, that best describes Ryan and his success. Ryan Lopez Jordan, in his own right, stands as one of the most accomplished sprinters and hurdlers to compete ever at Marietta College. Specializing in the 110-meter hurdles, Ryan's career was defined by his speed, precision, and remarkable ability to perform under pressure. His numerous awards are well-earned and are acknowledgments of his dominance in the hurdles. Ryan's ability to thrive in high-stake moments set him apart. His growth as an athlete was nothing short of remarkable. Over the years, he refined his technique, precision, and remarkable ability to perform under that pressure. He developed unmatched mental toughness, built his confidence, and evolved into one of the premier competitors in the nation. And I have to add this. This is in addition that Coach Evans shared, because he coached both Caleb, Chrissy, and Ryan, and he wanted me to share this. Although Caleb and Ryan excelled in different events, their careers were united by one unshakable quality, an unwavering commitment to excellence. Together, Ryan and Caleb, they helped propel Marietta College to its highest finish in program history in the OAC championships. Their individual successes ignited a collective energy that lifted the entire team, and their leadership became a driving force behind the program's success. Ryan is self-employed and lives with his husband, Ernest, in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Lopez Jordan.
Okay, I have to make this quick. I want to give a big shout out to my grandfather, Ernest. He's the one who paved my way to get here and stand before you all right now. Track and field is the basis of what it means to be a great athlete. I believe that in my heart, that if you know how to run fast and you are a fast runner, you can excel in any sport that you run in. I don't care if you are an archer, if you're one of the esports guys. There's something about running fast that builds a certain mental toughness that cannot be taught. You have to put it all out there on the track, and I just want to give the thanks to the very track that we're sitting on top of right now. You know, I used to have some of the student athletes completely change their schedule just to run with me, just so I could have somebody to start blocks with. They know who they are, and they have my endless gratitude. I want to thank this program, the committee, for inducting me into this Hall of Fame. To be honest, everyone keeps saying, of course I'm here, but it still feels very unbelievable that I'm here right now. So I just want to, give that thanks. It looks like I ran over time. I didn't beat Caleb Muller's 101. I'm going to end it there. Thank you very much.
Ryan, on behalf of the Marietta College trustees, faculty, and staff, I present this plaque signifying your induction into the Marietta College Athletic Hall of Fame.
Well, I think you will all agree that we are proud and honored to have the class of 2025 to join the Marietta College Athletic Hall of Fame. Again, congratulations to all of our newest Hall of Fame members. And last time. Just a little business reminder, all Hall of Fame individual inductees, teams already took their pictures. Way Weigel, Cleveland Lazoric winners. Everybody needs pictures, so please come down here and Jeff will take care of all of that, but please stay for pictures. I wish you all a good evening, safe travels home, and go blue.